put your hand, go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen, amen. Everything you put your hand, go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen, amen. Every hustler getting paid. Where the hustle go come the pay. Your own in no go take. Amen. If you don't find work, do your own. God self go do his own. And flesh go cover bone. Amen, amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen, amen, amen. Everything you put your hand go on. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen, amen. Everything you put your hand go on. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen, amen. Sister where one man receives until where they find begin. One day you go born twins. Amen, amen. You're not where don't losing job. Landlord come they do like God. One day you go be landlord. Amen, amen. Good news go locate you. Watch and see it not go take. If you believe it, say amen. No, amen, amen. Everything you put your hand go up. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen, amen. Everything you put your hand go up. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen, amen.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Hello, good afternoon to you, beautiful people of Lagos, and from wherever you're listening to us from. The time is 6 minutes gone past 3 p.m. and you're still until Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio station, powered by the Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion. Yes, it's about time for the Share Your Thoughts show, and today we're looking at what lessons has employment taught you. What have you been taught? What are the lessons you've learned because of you being employed, because of you working in the office and in an organization? We'll be looking at that today. And of course, as the person, as an individual, what has it taught you? You can send in your comment or you can call in on 0189 524 346 0189 524 346. My name is DJ Shab and I'm your host on today's show. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. You can also watch us live on YouTube at LagoonTV. Yes, we're very much live. And beside me, I have my producer here. I'll ask you a question. You're not going to escape it. You're not going to escape it. All right, so we'll get right into it. Of course, we all know being a career person, you can actually... your career can actually provide you with far more than a steady income, and of course, without letting go of the fact that you're going to learn one or two things on the job, and on the job you get more experiences. So many people learn some of their greatest lessons. Some they feel they haven't learned anything, but nobody can tell me that in a workplace you haven't learned anything. You've been there for a year, you've been there for 2 years. What have you learned? You can't tell me you've not learned anything. So what has employment taught you so far at your workplace? What has it taught you? If you didn't learn anything, then you're not making any impact on the organization. That's what it means, basically. So being open and willing to learn all of these lessons it has to teach us and grow from them is key to both personal and professional development. It helps you a lot. And it's going to tell on what you do. It's going to tell on your professionalism. It's going to tell on your career as an individual. So today, we're looking at the life lessons. We're looking at the lessons employment has taught you. I have 7 things I'm going to be discussing with us today in the course of this show. But do not forget, you can send in your comments on 08189 524 666. You can also call in on the same number, 08189 524 666. Yes. All right, so the most effective lessons are learned through experience rather than reading or being told about them. Note, one thing for you is to read. It's another thing for you to do these things and then you learn on it. Nobody is an island. Nobody's perfect. If you don't do these things, you can't even, you won't even know what it feels like. For instance, let's say a pregnant woman. For every woman, this is the first time of getting pregnant. You don't have the experience before. But of course, you're saying, this is how we do it. I mean, the pregnant women are usually like this or usually like this. But you never can tell because you don't have the experience. They vomit a lot. They speed around. They have cravings. What if you're pregnant and then you don't have any of these things that I just mentioned? So, we all are different, and what we learn, what we experience at our workplace are equally different. But we have some general things we learn together under the general umbrella. We all must learn some things, and I have 7 of them here. So the most effective lessons learned are actually through experience. You have to go through this thing. You have to feel it, not just to read about them or someone telling you about them. So it's more than you reading. So whether you're working your first job or your years into your career, you spend like 5-10 years, each life lesson learned along the way is an immensely important one. You worked in an organization for 2 years, you learned something there. You leave there, you go to another organization for 3 years, you learn something new, and some things that you've not even heard before, some things you've not even experienced before are learned. All right, so I have 7 important life lessons you can learn at work. But do not forget again, you can call in to drop your contributions to be a part of the show on this show, your third show on Lagoon Radio on 08189 524 666, 08189 524 666. Before I get right into it, I'm going to go on a music break, and when we get back, I'm going to kickstart into the 7 important lessons you can learn at work. I'll be right back.
This is Lagoon Radio.
For his glory, I'm on fire every day, and nothing can stop me, doesn't matter what I face. I am getting bigger every day, every day. I have Jesus in my life, living for his glory, I'm on fire every day, and nothing can stop me, doesn't matter what I face. I am getting bigger every day, every day. I have Jesus in my life.
Arena, it's a banger. Silence the voice of failure. We make success louder. Bigger than bigger, what bigger is realer than real, and we are on fire. And this is the life that we chose. We're balling in the Holy Ghost. Higher we go. We will never stop. Yo. There's a spirit that's alive in me, the spirit of the Lord, and it's there. knows me, I've never been before. I got joy like a river, chopping life like a pizza. Cause I'm bigger, bigger, I'm bigger, 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 yeah.
We know who we are, we're born of God, oh. We know what to do, we have the future. I'm unstoppable.
Okay, so in as much as I want to skip listening to the song, time is not on our side, and I want us to actually trash out all of these things today. That song is Bigger Every Day by Moses Bliss, featuring Festizy, Membrane, Hua, Chris Evan, and Tempo. My producer do not want to stop playing the song. In fact, she did want me to get back on the show, but unfortunately, I cut her off. All right, welcome back to the show. First show. Question for the day is: what life lessons or what lessons has employment taught you? What lessons has employment taught you? I said you can drop your comment, and you can also call in on 0189 524 346 0189 524 346, and then I'll be glad to take them. Okay, so my first important life lessons you can learn at work is always strive to avoid stagnation. Yes, when you hear the word stagnation, what comes to your mind? You know, when you're just stagnant, you're just in one place. You're not moving. You're just there. And stagnation is often unavoidable part of a job. It happens. You might just feel that, oh, you're not moving, you're not doing anything. And it can actually affect even the hardest working individuals. You might be discouraged, but times of stagnation can happen for several reasons, such as when you become too comfortable with a situation and then you just relax. Or when you're giving up on a challenging problem. I know it can be tough. Yes, you've had experience in this job. You spent so many years in this line of job, and then this happened. You feel discouraged, you feel challenged, and then you just want to back out. Try to avoid it. Always try to avoid stagnation. So you should always be learning and on bettering yourself. You get better every day as a person, as an individual. Like I said, it takes a toll on you, whether you choose the positive side of what employment has taught you, or you learned the other way around. So on your profession, it's going to be obvious. On your person, it's going to be very obvious. So you have to work and you have to learn on bettering yourself. You get better as a person. Just because you've succeeded doesn't mean that, oh yes, now maybe this I don't make them. No be so. You have to keep on moving. You have to keep on moving to avoid stagnation in your career. That's a very important lesson, and that's my number one important lesson. And this lesson again is valuable. You can learn from work. Is that those who always strive to learn more and continue to progress through times of stagnation are those who succeed. Now me talk and now waiting our research, and it is very obvious. If you keep moving, if you don't stop, I tell you, you're gonna be successful. It might be like a dream, but then your hard work shows, your learning shows, you trying to work on yourself to better yourself. It shows all over you. So it's a very, very important lesson, and it's a valuable one at that. So the key is to constantly be working to improve on your job performance as well as your personal development. So that's that on. Always strive to avoid stagnation. That's my number one important lesson. And my number two lesson here is make connecting with others a priority. Some people find it so difficult to communicate. At your workplace, you cannot afford not to, because either ways you're going to be there for one another. Personally, it works. Professionally, it works. You cannot, it's very important. You may learn at work. This is another important lesson you may learn at work. It might seem very difficult if you're an introvert, if you're someone that do not really like to talk so much, like me, because I talk so much, and of course my producer talks so much. So if you're someone that do not really like to talk so much, I know it's gonna take time. It might take time, but make it a priority, because either ways you're going to need each other's help, whether it is with a professional colleague, a friend, or a family member. Each relationship you build with another person adds another beam of support to what you're building for yourself. You might feel this person does not really have anything to offer me. You get it all wrong. You get it all wrong. He or she might not have anything to offer you now. Concerning your career, he or she might not have anything to offer you. But believe me, what of personally? Do you think you don't need anybody in your life? You don't need that kind of relationship? There's much you can create by working alone. But there's a lot you can achieve. There's a great success attached to you working with people. And then some people, it brings me to this. When they're filling their CV, and then you see ability to work with others, teamwork, and then you get the job, it's not reflecting in your performance. So why then do we have to lie on our CV? I mean, it's really, really very important. If you think about your personal life and you're like, would it be where it is today without the connections? Just think back. It's really, really, really very important to make connecting with others a priority. You might not want to get personal. If it's work, keep it at work. If you have a close relationship with this person, then you're free to discuss anything whatsoever with this person. But if you want to make it work related, then you can keep it at that and see where it's going to take you. See how much success you're going to achieve by working and communicating with others. You listen to other people's opinion and stories, and then you can build your own experience. You can even learn more from their experience. You use your own strength to help them with their project. I mean, we all have our weaknesses, we all have our strength. And then when you have a weakness, these people come to your aid. When you look back and you look, I'm very good at this thing, you look at your strength, and then other people can rely on you. And then you become a great team. You become someone that contributes so much to the growth, to the development of the organization. Plus, you may be surprised to realize that what makes a great professional team can also be implemented to foster your relationships with friends and family. So connecting with others your priority is really important lesson life. You learn at work is one life lesson you learn at work and in the course of your career. So try to improve on it. I'm going to take the third one and then we go on a music break. So before then, the third one here is remember to look on the bright side. Remember to look on the bright side, but don't forget you can still call in on 0189 524 666 0189 524 666. Drop your comments, call in to contribute. I'll be glad to take your calls and I'll be glad to take your comment. So the third one, remember to look on the bright side. So every day isn't going to be the best day of your life, and every day isn't going to be the best day at work. And some days can actually be downright challenging, and there are some days your body is not just working, doesn't seem like it, and then you might feel lazy that day. You might feel lazy some days, and some days you might just feel, I want to do all the old work in this office. But trust me, remember to always look on the bright side. So if you can remember to look on the bright side, the difficult days can be just another way to grow in both your career and life generally. So this one is important. It's very important. So when you're in a job you don't like, this particular lesson is important. You learn to adapt. You look at the brighter side. Okay, this is what life has to offer at this moment. Life has given me lemon. Let me try and make a lemonade out of it. And you see where and what you'll be able to achieve. So focusing on the bright side, on the positive rather than the negative, can help turn the situation around. Because I'm going to give you an example. Okay, so you have this project you've been enjoying, and then you're doing so well, or taking advantage of a free office lunch may seem small in the grand scheme of things. But there are actually ways in which you can look on the bright side and remain positive. I don't know if you understand. So you're enjoying a project, you do well, or you're taking advantage of a free lunch time. Okay, it seems like it's a small thing. But at the same time, I'm gonna make it grand one. I'm gonna make it grand. But try to look on the bright side and remain positive at that. If you remain positive and look at the things with optimism, it's an invaluable life lesson. You can't just look away. You can't shy away from it. So the more you can improve your outlook and the less and small things that affect you, the better you'll be able to handle challenges in both your professional and personal life. So as a result, you find yourself happier and even more content with what you're doing, no matter what the situation. You end up enjoying what you do. Hello, if someone tells you, this your job is stressful, I love my job. In fact, as a matter of fact, I enjoy what I'm doing and I want to do it over and over and over again. Yeah, I'm going to go on a short break, and when we get back, we'll continue on the life lessons employment has taught you. I'll be right back. Do not go nowhere.
Yes, I've learned to depend on you. I've got confidence in you, oh Lord. I put my trust. Your love has taken over me, 'cause I've learned to depend on you. I have confidence in you, oh Lord. I put my trust.
Now that I want to dance, she's refusing me to dance. Is this not witchcraft? All right, that's Under the Canopy by Frank Edwards. I remember this song, and then when we're dancing, it was like this. Under the canopy, give me security. Under the canopy, give me siki. Under the canopy of God. Pee. My Savior, we cover. Give me under the canopy of God. That's our own. So that's our own version then, before the original and the well put together. They're all the same. That's Under the Canopy by Frank Edwards, and you're still onto Lagoon Radio. The time is 28 minutes past 3 p.m. And this is the Share Your Thoughts show. My question for today is, what has employment taught you? What has been employed taught you? What lessons have you learned? What lessons has employment been able to teach you, inculcate in you. Feel free to drop your comment on 08189 524 666, and of course like us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. I remain your host, DJ Shab. Okay, so I'm talking about 7 life lessons employment can teach you and will teach you. I've talked about 3, and this is the 4th one here. So this one says, focus on developing and using your strength. Some people, they've got this thing in them, but they do not know how to use it. You know you have this thing. You know you can do this thing. So focus on it. And stop demeaning yourself. Stop making yourself feel, oh, I don't think I can do it. You're losing your self-confidence. You're losing that confidence. You're turning your strengths to your weaknesses. And it shouldn't be. So finding out what you enjoy doing best, and just do it with your whole heart and what you're truly good at, as well as how to develop these areas is very important. You find out your strengths, you find out what you love to do, you find out what you really, really want to do, what you've been aspiring to do, and then you have the opportunity to do them. Why not just make time? Determine that, yes, now I'm going to achieve this thing. This is what I want to do. I've had mind to do this thing, and I'm going to put my mind to it. I'm going to do it and do it well. Take time, make time. Determine where you excel in your career. Your success comes from you. If you're successful today, it is your hard work. And if it is the other way around, it is what you bring upon yourself. So why not just determine whether or not you excel in your career? And let's stop having this mindset of, I beg, Shebi is not my job. What if it's your job? Are you going to still do the same thing? Or if you were to be in the position of the boss, would you rather your employee do the same to you? So let's try and put all of these things into consideration. Don't say it's not my job, then I don't have to waste all my strength and energy and all of my focus and all of my, my ability on this job. Do it as if it were your own. Do it, be determined to do it, and you would see. Just make sure you find that thing you enjoy doing the most. Focus on developing and using your strength. You enjoy it. Like I said, you enjoy doing it, or you really want to do this thing. And you find yourself that, oh, I think I'm liking this thing, and I don't think I want to trade it for anything. Anyone can be good at something with enough hard work. Those who find pride and enjoyment in their work will succeed. Note, than those who do not. You find pride, you find pleasure, you find joy in doing whatever you're doing because you're using your own strength to develop in your career. I tell you, you'll be more successful in life than those who do not. So realizing where your strength lies and your passions lie enables you to set a concrete goal or goals in your professional life, and gives you an actionable plan to achieve them. Focus on whatever it is that it makes you feel happy, and that thing you feel, when I do it, I'm definitely going to excel, no matter what, even without any help. I can do this on my own. Just focus, and then you see how much success you're able to gather and put together. It brings me to the 5th one for today. Work until the work is done. Let me say it very well. This is another important one. Work until the work is done. Okay, so one of the first lessons you may learn when starting to work is what happens when you procrastinate. Procrastination is not good. It's not a good thing. I'll do it tomorrow, and then you close your laptop, you carry it over. We all are guilty of this. Maybe just a few people do not do it. At times I do it. I'm not going to lie about that. At times, I said earlier, your body might not just want to do. But try. Work until the work is done. It's very important. Procrastination has a clear repercussion in the workplace. And then you come the next day. You have other things to do, but because you refuse to finish what you had yesterday and then you had to carry it over, more work for you. Know that because you procrastinated and then you have more work the next day, and this can result in challenges such as falling behind with your task. Like I said, I just explained. So committing yourself to your work until your work is done is a valuable life lesson, and it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of discipline to be able to do this. I know it's not going to be easy. Like I said, there's some days whereby you're just tired. You just don't feel like. Yes, rest is paramount. If your brain isn't just going with the work, rest. But try not to carry your work over. Try not to procrastinate. Try to do what you're supposed to do. Do the work until the work is done. It prevents. It can prevent hardship, and it can also increase your overall success, your overall productivity. I hope you all understand. It is not limited. It doesn't have to be limited to your professional work. So when you look at your personal life, it's just applicable. You want to have your bath. Some people, I'm going to use that example. I don't know. It's funny, but I don't know how. Or when you wake up in the morning, you do not brush your teeth, and then you want to eat, because they tell you, "Oh, your body not say brush in the morning." Just make sure you brush, because it's not to stand. Because you just want to eat, and then you push it forward, or you have where you want to go to, and then you keep pushing, you keep pushing, you keep pushing, you keep pushing. We all are guilty of this. Let's just try to do what we have to do in our personal lives. It's very important. We do not procrastinate. It does not help. It does not help. It does not help in any way, and it drags back our productivity, our success, in our career and our personal life. Even if you limit even if you limit your homework to the weekends, and then if okay, maybe it's Friday, I'm going to do the work by weekend. You should be dedicating some hours to your personal progress. Not work. I feel at this point you should have a calendar. You should have a plan for yourself. This is how I want my week to go. Some people, you don't just come to them that, okay, I want us to go and do this. I have this thing. They already have their time plan. So when they're at home, you can't tell them to come and work, because I basically did all the work that needs to be done, and then I do not want to bring work to the house. Some people do. They don't even carry office work to the house, because they needed their personal lives. They needed some time to themselves. They needed some time with their families. And that's where this procrastination comes in. If you do that, you're not going to have time. You're not going to be able to have time for your personal life. And it can break your home. If you're newly wedded, it can break your home. If you have kids, it's going to affect them, because they need your attention. And then you had to bring your office work. You carried over to the house. I know some things are important, where in a case whereby you just got called by your boss to do something. It's a different thing. It's a different case scenario. But try not to procrastinate. Work until the work is done. Work until the work is done. Have you taken the sixth lesson employment can teach you, or the sixth life lesson employment can teach you? So this one is trust in the power of failure. Trust in the power of failure. Some people are scared of failing. The fear of failing. And I tell you, if you look at the most successful people we have in the world today, they've had their own share of failures. Not even failures. They failed in many ways before they're able to stand their ground today. If you don't fall, you can't get up. And then when you fall, don't just remain there. You have to fight back. You have to fight to get up. It can be discouraging. It can be sad, to know that you're going to fail, you're not making progress. As you work toward your professional goals, you will inevitably experience challenges. You cannot. And of course, you make mistakes. Nobody can tell me he or she has never made any mistakes. It's not possible. So not everyone, not everything you do, you'll be successful. Though we pray that every work of our hand be successful, we're going to make mistakes. And the reason for making mistakes, the reason for failing is to get it better, to get it done the best way. Not because you do not know how to do this thing. Not because you cannot carry the file. Not because you cannot hold the cup of coffee very well. The cup fell off and it got broken. It's for you to get better in whatever you've done. To put more pressure. To put more actions into what you've done, to put more knowledge, to add some more spices into whatever you've done before that has failed, to open your eyes to more sorry about that, to open your eyes to more interesting things you can add to whatever you've put together, to more opinions, yes, to more ideas. But don't stress about these failures. You really do not need to fear, to stress. Do not fear. With no mistakes, there would no be opportunity to learn. We learn from mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. Personally, in our lives, we learn from mistakes. Nobody can tell me he or she has not made any mistakes. It's not possible. So every failure you have, or every failure gives you a chance to grow both personally and professionally. So there is no better way to know what works than knowing what doesn't. If it doesn't work, then you know it's not going to work. Then you try the other options and you keep trying and you keep trying. And then by the time you come to the end of whatever you've been putting together, you can tell the story that, I did this in 7 times. It isn't easy. But of course, look at me today. Look at me today. You make mistakes. And then you turn your mistakes into, in fact, your mistakes some people can even take it and then like, oh, really? You think it's a mistake? I buy this idea. I came into it. And then boom, that's it. So do not let us be discouraged by our failures. We should remember that everything is a learning experience. We learn from our mistakes. And if we do not learn, then we're going to remain stagnant. The stagnation we're avoiding, we don't have a choice. We're going to just remain there on a spot. Before I go to the last one, I'm going to go on a music break. I'm sure you've been having a swell time. Don't forget, this is still Lagoon Radio, and this is Share Your Thoughts show. What has employment taught you? What lessons have been employed taught you? Yes, I mean, it has taught me a lot. Yes, it has taught me a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people have learned from being employed. So I'll be back after this break. Do not go nowhere.
This is Lagoon Radio.
If you know you have a reason to thank the Lord tonight, come on, let's go. Oh Lord,
my goodness. My mouth don't dey pain me. Oh gosh. In the presence of God, there is fullness of joy. That's NK Ogboruche Salute featuring Kira Sherd. Salute. If you are watching me on, if you are not watching me, you need to go to YouTube, LagoonTV. You need to see me. I don't throw salute, mama. Don't they pay me? Forgetting the fact that I still have some things to share with you. All right, welcome back to the Share Your Thoughts show on Lagoon Radio. My name is DJ Sharp, and I'm still your host. Today's question is: what has been employed taught you? What has been employed taught you? As a person, personally, professionally, in your personal life, what has been employed taught you? You can't tell me you have not been taught at all. You can call in or send a message on 0189 524 666 and let's hear your view. All right, I've talked about 6 life lessons employment can teach you, and I'm going to be talking about the last one. Last but not the least. Learn how to change the situation, not the person. Learn how to change the situation, not the person. Some people keep forgetting the fact that you can't change anybody. And like I said, if you want to keep it work-based, keep it work-based. If you don't want to be personal about, if you don't want to mix your personal life with your career life, it's fine. But try not to change anybody. You're not for me to change. I'm not for you to change. We've come here to work. And then we became, close. And then it's not working out. And then we're not close. So try not to learn to change the situation, not the person. Learning to focus on changing the situation rather than trying to change a person or a group of people is a valuable lesson you can learn at work. So this especially is important when you find yourself in a management position. So for example, if you're a manager and employees are doing something that negatively impacts productivity, here's what you can do. It is your job to find out why, not just to impose, because all of these things can actually spoil their plans. So it may be a problem with scheduling or an issue with the way things are being planned or being run. Instead of trying to change your employees, just change the whole situation. How many employees do you want to change in a month? If things keep going wrong, how many of employees do you will you fire in a month? I mean, the company will move forward. Just try to change the situation around as a manager. That's why you're there. To control these people, to manage these people, to manage situation. So that's a typical example. So instead of trying to change your employees to fit the status quo, take a look at the situation. Try and see if you can solve it. Of course, you can actually look into it together. And you see that these people are actually capable of doing it. Probably it's just something that is missing or is something they're not getting right. Sometimes the problem is not even the people involved, but rather the way the situation is handled. And maybe when you come into the situation, when you step in, you see the way the whole thing is going to turn around. So listen to other people's opinion. Don't just come and force yourself on them. Don't come and force your opinion on them. And don't try to improve the situation at hand as a boss, as an employee, as an employer, as an individual, even in your personal life. Try not to force things on people. You listen to them. Try not to change people because of the situation. You look into the situation. If it's what you can handle, fine. Take a step back and look at the situation. If it's being handled in a way that keeps, dragging back, or you even look at everyone's interest. These people, can they really do it? Do they really have interest in this before you even give them the job? So the most important thing to remember here is that people generally don't respond well when you try to change them. You can't change anybody. You cannot change anybody, but we often respond positively to situation changes. And that I think we can attest to, because we all can say that I'm correct on this one. You can only change the situation. You can't change the person. People respond positively and very quickly to situational changes that increase their ability to want to do this thing. Oh, I didn't know, really, is this how it's meant to be done? Oh, I want to do it this way. So that next time you don't even have to come into the picture and then I'm going to do it right. So this lesson translates well to many aspects of life. To many aspects of life. Instead of trying to change the people you love or even the people you don't love, try to first change the situation or the way you view the situation. And let's see where it's going to head. So the more you're able to focus on contributing to the improvement, to an improvement in a situation, rather than trying to change a person, the more success you'll have in the work and life. I hope with these few points of mine, I'm able to convince you and not to confuse you about the life lessons you can learn at work. Okay, so I'm going to take a recap. If you're just tuning in, we've talked about a lot of things on the show today. What life lessons as employment taught you. I talked about 7 important lessons, quite a number of them, so many of them, but I had to bring out just 7 to share with us here on the show. The number 1 I talked about, always strive to avoid stagnation. You need to keep moving. It's unavoidable, but you just have to keep moving. You get? We move. All right, number 2, I said make connecting with others a priority. You need to communicate with others, your personal life, your career wise. It's going to help you. 2 heads are better than one, they say. And when you work, there's so much you can achieve when you work on your own, and when you work with people, you can see how much success you're able to gather in the short period you work with people. And the 3rd one I talked about, remember to look on the bright side. Not every day is the best day at work. Not every situation you find yourself is the best, but you can always try look at the bright side, look on the bright side, and some situations can be challenging, yes, but look at it. If you take your time, you're going to see a better outcome of that. The 4th one I talked about is focus on developing and using your strength. Realize your strength. Use your strengths on others, and let others use their strengths on you. You have a weakness. Everyone has weaknesses, and they have their strengths. Everyone does. You know you have strength in doing this thing. Put all your body in it. Do the work. Use your strengths to contribute to the teamwork. Where you lack, be able to, you should be ready to receive strength from others. You should be able to rely on others and let others be able to rely on you. So focus on developing and using your strength. Number 5, I talked about work until the work is done. Stop procrastinating. Do the work and try not to carry the work over. Create some time to yourself. You need some time to yourself. You need your personal time. And then if you keep carrying the work home, what time do you have to spend to yourself? What time do you have to relax? What time do you have to spend with your family members? If you're newlywed, you're working towards a broken marriage. So it is advisable not to procrastinate, to work until the work is done. Do the work at work. Plan yourself well. If you want to do this, if you want to work at home for an hour, work for an hour and then close your system. Stop whatever you're doing at that point. And then we move. The 6th one here is trust in the power of failure. Some people are scared of failing, but at the same time, we cannot but talk about it. You cannot evite it. It's inevitable. You fail so many times and then you rise again. That's a story for you to tell in future. The last one is learn how to change the situation, not the person. Try to change the situation of things, not the people. How many people do you want to sack in a month? How many employees do you want to sack in a year? So try and come into the situation. That's where you're there as a manager, as an employer, and as a team lead. You work on the situations and not just change the people. It might be as a form of manhandling of the situation, but probably when you step in, things might fall back to shape. And that's all I talked about today on the show. If you're just tuning in, you can go on our YouTube channel for a recap of the show. Thank you very much for being part of the show, for listening, and those that joined us on YouTube, thank you very much. Next week is going to be another wonderful edition. Have a very amazing topic. It's really funny, but let me swallow my spit because I'm not going to tell you. But don't forget, this is the Lagoon Radio, and you can follow us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. You can also download the Lagoon Radio app on Google Play Store and App Store, irrespective of the device that you use. I remain DJ Sha, and I'm your host on the Share Your Thoughts Show. Good afternoon and bye. you.